Welcome to The Know. I'm Brian.
I'm John.
It's the question gamers have had for years now. Why doesn't Valve make games anymore?
Because they don't have to. They have enough money.
They sure
End of the news.
Bye, everybody.
But yeah, why does the developer behind some legendary franchises like Half-Life and Portal not seem interested at all in creating more of them? Why is Valve all about VR and Steam these days?
Well, after one former employee went on a tweet storm recently, a massive tweet storm about what it was like to work there and other companies like it, we might have an idea. It's because companies like Valve sound like pretty crazy places to work.
It's gotta be wild at this point.
Oh, just fun.
And keep in mind that this is based on the account of one person, but from what he says, if you're a new Valve employee, your best bet isn't to make games. What you really need to do is make friends.
Yeah. This all comes from Rich Geldreich, a former Valve developer who says he's worked on games ranging from Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, and Portal 2. I looked up his LinkedIn. He worked at Valve as a software engineer from 2009 to 2014. He was also a software engineer at Microsoft's Ensemble Studios from 2004 to 2008, where he worked on games like Halo Wars. The guy's definitely got some credibility.
He's been around for a while,
Yep.
and a few days ago he went on Twitter to talk about what it's like to work at a big gaming company. And it's eye-opening to say the least.
Now, it's important to note that Geldreich never mentions Valve by name, but he drops little clues here and there about who he's talking about. He'll say phrases like a Bellevue company, which is where Valve is headquartered.
Yeah, he started off a few days ago by tweeting some job advice, like if you're relocating for a job and house hunting in a new city, don't use the real estate agent that the company recommends. And don't tell coworkers or a manager that you have a lease or that you're locked into anything long-term, because that could be used to exploit you. Same if you are paying back taxes or a large debt. He says to keep that private.
He also suggests having friends outside your job to give you perspective on things. That's good advice. And he says, don't get too wrapped up in company politics.
So that's all pretty standard stuff that could be applied to almost any job, and he admits that some of this is based on experience that his friends have had working for other companies.
Then he got a little more specific and said the more famous and well-known the company and the easier it is for that company to get new hires, the worse you will be treated in my experience. Be aware of that while shopping around for a new job.
Yes, he definitely made it sound like famous companies will mercilessly churn through employees. But again, he didn't mention Valve specifically by name.
They are famous.
They are
That is
famous.
true. But in another part, when he did seem to allude to Valve, he went on to say, after joining this one Bellevue company, one of the pseudo managers kept ragging on a well-known physics coder I respected. He joined the company and left for another after a few months. He added, turns out this coder realized how bad the work environment was and moved on to a more healthy company. So beware of stories like this, as they could be indicative of an unhealthy environment.
He also wrote that some companies might hire well-known employees on a temporary basis, soak up the good press, and then just get rid of them.
Ouch. He tweeted, another type of temp strategic hire you can make is to recruit a well-known author, a famous dev, or a person with specialized skills like an economist. Have them write gushingly about their amazing experiences at the company. Once you're done with them, quietly let them go.
Some have taken that as a reference to Jerry Ellsworth, a hardware hacker and inventor who was hired by Valve to work on gaming hardware and then was fired the next year. Others mentioned Yanis Varoufakis, who is a former Valve employee who went on to become the Greek Minister of Finance.
Geldreich also said that at such companies, you need a powerful sponsor or a baron to back you. He said to figure out what they want and like. He added that you should watch or read Hunger Games. Once you get to this level, you are almost untouchable. I want to be a baron.
We don't have enough barons around.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Let's just...
If there are, I don't know them.
They're hiding.
Yeah.
It's those people who form sort of a secret clique of untouchables who run and police the company. Geldreich also said that they can protect you from getting fired.
He also tweeted that it's good to get involved in pet projects that the CEO of the company is interested in. That's just a good idea for any company. Those can be good to work on, he said, because you have someone with real power watching your back. Some took that as a reference to Steam Machine, Steam Link, notebook or even the Steam controller.
Geldreich also suggested that communications in companies can be very tricky, writing that if you have to communicate with a very political, overly controlling company, always do so via CC'd email or conference calls with multiple parties listening. Never privately Skype or chat with anyone. This helps keep the overly political company honest.
Now, a few caveats here. Geldreich has worked at several companies, not just Valve, so these tweets, they could definitely be based on his entire job history. He also added that most of the things he's talking about occurred 5 to 10 years ago, saying that it's ancient history now and these places do learn from their mistakes. Although 5 to 10 years ago would be his Valve time.
Yeah, he also said that a lot of problems stem from bonus systems, which he said leads to a competitive and toxic environment.
He goes on for much, much longer. There are hundreds of tweets, but those are the high points that we picked out. And again, not necessarily about Valve, at least all of them.
But the picture he paints is one of companies that burn through employees, and there are places where you need to play the political game if you want to get anything done. And if the boss isn't interested in your idea, you're out of luck.
So that's why we never got Half-Life 3.
Damn it!
We got it. Mystery solved.
Needless to say, this story spread across the internet like wildfire, especially in groups like the Valve subreddit that are particularly interested in the goings on there.
And after this tweet storm, some people in the media have tried to contact Geldreich to get some clarification on what he meant, but he is not interested in elaborating on his tweet storm at all.
He wrote today, "I'm not interested in talking to the press at all, so please stop contacting me as I won't reply. For the record, all of my tweets are based off real life events, and I have borrowed terminology, ideas, or concepts from other current/ex coworkers at various places."
So there you go. Whatever company he was referring to, definitely an interesting glimpse into how things work at big, famous gaming companies.
So what do you guys think of these comments from a former Valve staffer? Do you think that he's talking mostly about Valve? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your gaming news, be sure to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the Know.
We're never getting any more games from them.
Oh yeah. Luckily they don't make them.
I've moved past that.
No,
Yes.
we're getting Artifact, guys.
Oh yeah.
Fuck is Artifact?
No
It's
more
their
card
fucking
games.
card
It's a
game.
card game.
God
It's
damn
their
it.
Dota card game.
Nope. We going or did I just clap?
No, you just clapped for no reason.
Oh.